You know, we have that rational mind, and then we have that emotional mind. And so here's the thing. I've already, in my previous videos, I spoke on the communication network, how important it is. You know what I'm saying? And everything within you has to have that healthy communication network for you to be able to have a healthy communication with everybody outside of you. You know what I'm saying? Because the whole thing is that, look at when you're addicted to something. Let's say you're addicted to porn. You know what I'm saying? You have that impulsive, emotional mind, and then you have that rational mind. If they're not basically having a healthy communication with each other, you notice how you'll just impulsively do something. Let's say any kind of addiction. It doesn't have to be that. But just when you finish, then, you know what I'm saying, the rational mind kicks in, and, you know what I'm saying, like, you start to feel bad about the things you do. You know what I'm saying? The whole guilt comes out, and it's kind of like you judging yourself there. You know what I'm saying? But all due to the fact that there was no communication, but there was no self-control as well. There was no discipline. Discipline, disciple. You know, as a disciple, you follow. You know what I'm saying? You're a disciple of something. But then when you're disciplined, you're kind of like the leader. You're the CEO of your business that you're minding. You know what I'm saying? Everything outside of you that you're looking at, basically, when you can start to see the connections within you, you'll start to see how everything outside of you starts to connect dots for you. But you'll also see the connectiveness between you and everything else outside of you. You know what I'm saying? And one of the crazy things here is that, you know, we talk about the word sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? And sacrificing, you basically, you know, you give up something in order to acquire something else. By definition, that's what it means. And, or, you know what I'm saying, like, you sacrifice something as like a human or an animal in order to please a God. You give it to a God as an offering outside of you, basically. You know what I'm saying? And when you live, for example, a certain way where you're basically raping and torturing yourself to some extent and not realizing what you're doing, you're going to basically have that experience as your reality, not knowing that it's all starting from you regardless anyway. You know what I'm saying? And even the word sacrifice, we look at that word sacrifice and it's pretty inverted. Like, you'll see people say, man, I'll give my life up for that or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Do you know that you basically, let's say if you decided to kill yourself, you basically deaded everything outside of you. How do you know what happens after you die? You know what I'm saying? Does the show really go on without you? You know what I'm saying? You're the one, the all, the God, the one, the main one, the only one. You know what I'm saying? You're here by yourself. So if you're here by yourself and you decide to kill yourself, you basically killed everybody outside of you. So you did something that was basically as heinous of an act that you could possibly think of. But then you look at other acts outside of you, that is all basically reflections of what you're projecting from within you. If you're experiencing that in your reality, you're basically looking at it for a reason and you're judging that. You know what I'm saying? It's just a fractal of what you are. You know what I'm saying? For you to have an understanding, like I said in my previous videos, the mind of God is the mind of the collective. When you say my mind, then you're thinking of it from a human perspective, then you're nothing but a fractal here. So you're only using that little portion, and that's it. And you're closed-minded to that. So you have debates with everybody outside of you. You know what I'm saying? When you come into this world out of your mother's womb, the first thing you do is take a nice deep breath. And that deep breath is basically you're living. A lot of people are shallow breathers. You know what I'm saying? So when you do breathe, you know what I'm saying? It is an experience. You're experiencing your reality a certain way. You're becoming in tune to some extent where you're basically managing your circulatory system, your heart rate system. Basically, look, people talk about chakra systems and whatnot. It's basically, it's your central nervous system. You know what I'm saying? And how that affects your spirituality, your reality and whatnot. You doing the work on yourself is basically you helping everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Because everything starts from you. Even when you look at the connectiveness in everybody and how I even spoke about sacrifice, like, you know how sometimes you may do things in your day-to-day life that you do not like doing. You're sacrificing yourself all in the interest of, you know, possessions that you have to maintain. You know what I'm saying? So you go to work, you don't like your job, or you may be in a relationship that you can't stand, but you're still there because of whatever your reasons may be. You're sacrificing yourself there. You are basically sacrificing yourself for others, and that doesn't benefit anybody outside of you. You get what I'm saying? When you're in full control and in full power, and your level of consciousness and spirituality goes up, your reality starts to change, because now you're being more impactful toward everybody outside of you. You know what I'm saying? Authenticity is very important for that reason. But it's all about how much faith and belief you have in yourself to be able to give certain things up, to know that you'll bounce back. Because, see, when you manifest, again, you're in your now moment. You know what I'm saying? And you're basically, depending on how you're using your now moment, is dependent on the threads of possibilities that are going to be your experience. You know what I'm saying? To follow. Yesterday doesn't exist. Tomorrow is only dependent on what you do now. You know what I'm saying? Even, for example, like people say, well, what about the people that have gone through it? You know what I'm saying? Again, whatever you attract in your reality is something you need to question as to why you're even experiencing it. You could be present with people, you know what I'm saying, when they're expressing themselves to you. But then again, at the end of the day, you got to know that fine line between getting lost in that experience or being present with somebody to genuinely help them out. You get what I'm saying? But always figure why that's even in your reality to begin with. What paths you chose in life. Because somebody could be telling you an experience, and for you to be present with that person, just think about this for a moment. The moment your mentality is moved toward having them, having yourself basically putting yourself in their shoes to have an understanding as to what it is that they're going through. You get what I'm saying? But not getting lost into that. But it's also an idea that was already implanted in your head. You know what I'm saying? So, put it this way. If you saw the connectiveness in everybody outside of you and know that that is you, you can't fathom the idea of doing something to somebody, whether it be the most heinous act or the most simple act of, you know, fucking somebody over. You know what I'm saying? Because you literally would be fucking yourself over. Okay? But the more I come to this realization, I'm living the path of basically knowing that I'm responsible and I take accountability for everything I do, and it all comes back to me. And because of that, I'm opening more doors than I ever have before. Your consciousness, you have free will. You know what I'm saying? The system is designed to separate you from you. It will propose certain things to you because it is only trying to survive the same way the human body is strives to survive. Because whatever you throw at it, it does something to keep it self-healthy. You know what I'm saying? If you're eating garbage, like I mentioned in my previous videos, your body will create mucus. It will create, you know what I'm saying, a fever. If you did something that caused yourself to put yourself in a disease state or whatnot, it does things to protect itself, which can look two ways. It could be working because your body is part of the system. So it is basically a prison that is striving to make sure that you stay here, or it is in its best interest to have you strive. But who is the God, the body or you? So you use this system basically, and you manipulate the systems outside of you. And when you're able to see how the shit works outside of you, depending on how you're managing your shit from within, then you manipulate your reality to your advantage. Everybody's life, your life could be hell and mine could be heaven. But it's based on how I'm managing my systems and how I perceive my things to be and what I consider abundance and what others don't. See, you can have whatever you want here because you see, the whole sacrifice thing, people say you have to lose something to get something or lose everything to get everything. You already are everything. You know what I'm saying? You basically have to lose the idea of the fact that you are the ego when you're not the ego. You're basically much more than that. You're outside of space and time. You know what I'm saying? So you sacrifice your body in a way where you're doing it for the betterment of everybody else. In a way where if you fast or if you make a conscious choice to better your health, basically not eating, and I'm not just talking about eating food, I'm talking about what you listen to, what you see and stuff like that. Because again, look, having that work done within you first, you'll be able to control those things a lot better. You could be a disciple, which is a follower, or discipline. Discipline, you're in charge of your body. Disciple, you're following shit. So if you can control and have a healthy communication between all your fractal bodies, or the rational and emotional mind, you know what I'm saying? Because notice when you cave in and you just do something out of impulse, or let's say, you'll feel guilty about it. That feeling guilty about it is what's fucking you up. You know what I'm saying? Because you know better, but you gave in, all in the interest of satisfying your ego. You know what I'm saying? Or satisfying an emotion of anger that you had. So you had to act on that anger just because you feel like you didn't want to get one, you didn't want anybody else to get one over on you. You know what I'm saying? And it's, again, not to be a pussy out this motherfucker or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes shit gotta be in check, but you guys get the idea of what I'm saying. You know, in nature, that system in nature, if you walk in the forest, everything is designed to thrive. You know what I'm saying? As far as like how it works. You know what I'm saying? And it's working because of microbes and bacteria. You know what I'm saying? That's basically, and there's a fungal network entangled in the root systems of the trees, which is basically feeding one tree to another, which could be hundreds of miles away or anything. And there's always going to be a mother tree. I've talked about this in my previous video, so go check it out. You know what I'm saying? But when you have that healthy network within you, then you're going to see the connectiveness and everything outside of you. The blockages that we have, you're a big bag of pipes. But if you don't know how to eat and how to process like you could be listening to something and you may not understand what somebody's saying. That's why somebody will say, okay, let me break it down for you. They say that because they're making it more bioavailable for you, or basically demystifying things for you. You know what I'm saying? Where a book or something may make it so difficult and it's broken down for you to be able to understand it based on the level and frequency that you're on. You know what I'm saying? Because there's things that I've heard at one point in my time and I didn't understand what it was saying, and then now I hear it and I totally get what they're saying. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm able to process that level of information because I have upgraded myself since that time that I heard that video the first time, or I heard that level of information. You get what I'm saying? B12, for example, some people have a hard time metabolizing and processing B12, so they feel ill or they feel tired, they feel all fucked up. B12 is very important. B12 is actually not even a vitamin, it's a bacteria, but it's all dependent on the intrinsic factor in your system. See, people are trying to intake 2,500 micrograms, 5,000 micrograms of B12. Some people even have to get injections and they still can't process that, so they think they have to just get more and more and more, and that's not what it is. You have to figure out why you're not even absorbing it to begin with, and then if you are able to reset your system and get that intrinsic factor healthy, you don't even need that much B12. You can do 6 micrograms and it would recycle in your system for an extended period of time. I'm talking about really extended period of time. See, B12 is responsible for red blood cell formation, which is formed in your bone marrow, has a lot to do with calcium absorption, which I'll get into the science of all this in another video, and how this even has to do with spirituality as well. All right, but red blood cell formation, carbohydrate metabolism, energy production, you know what I'm saying? Carbohydrate metabolism and natural energy production go hand in hand. Carbohydrates, carbon, oxygen, hydrogen. There's a big talk about this whole movement of the keto diet and whatnot, which is basically another topic I'm going to get into. I'll get into that in the next video when I talk about the D3 and the B12s and and even electrolytes, and why you have to take so many different things and do test strips when you're on certain diets. Why? Because it's not natural. You know what I'm saying? You're putting your body under certain conditions to force it to do something that it's not designed to do. You know what I'm saying? But if you're healthy enough, then you can go through it. But a lot of people that are trying to lose weight, they have no understanding of this diet. You know what I'm saying? And the first thing I always ask them is, how's your digestion? And most of these people who are overweight have bad digestion to begin with. How could you embark on a keto diet that's being pushed on people? You know what I'm saying? And it's basically what you're eating is, if you're eating, like, let's say, for example, I'm growing a bunch of fruits. You know what I'm saying? I'm freshly picking this fruit and I'm freshly eating it right away, which means that I'm actually eating high vibrational living food. You know what I'm saying? So I'm able to eat clear information, because what you're eating is information. If you're eating dead food, you know what I'm saying? The body is processing dead matter. There's nothing there. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, but it's also having a hard time absorbing certain things, because your body is, it was basically conditioned a certain way based on the things you've been eating already, and not taking smart choices toward what you're doing, that it can't even absorb certain nutrients, so you're always left hungry. Which is why some people feel like they gotta learn so much more because they're left hungry. They're not processing or absorbing the nutrients out of what they're actually listening to. You know what I'm saying? And that's very important. And one thing I'm gonna get into real quickly is that I'm going to, and I'll make it in, I'll talk about it in another video, just in case you didn't make it this far into this video. But basically I'm gonna do today I've been doing nothing but fruits. You know what I'm saying? Basically smoothies and whatnot. So I want whoever is listening, if you want to join me, we're going into a new month. Today's August 31st, I believe. Today's August 31st. Tomorrow's September 1st. We're in new moon season. I'm basically going to, be doing a 3-day urine fast. And this is all in the interest of basically reintroducing the urine back into my system. You see, it came out of me. So I'm reintroducing it because, see, it's your living water and it holds information and memory. There's information in water. There's information in your urine, and it's living life force. You know what I'm saying? It's been moving inside of you. You reintroduce that to your body. Now you process it. You kind of break it down, make it more bioavailable. You know what I'm saying? And then now you'll have a clearer. That's why when you loop the urine, it becomes clearer and clearer. You get clearer understanding or understanding of what is going on within you and how you can make your experience better for yourself and for others outside of you, whatever your intent may be. You know what I'm saying? Full moon season, new month. I want to use this energy to enhance my consciousness and gain spiritual strength. You know what I'm saying? And I don't live a rigid lifestyle. Again, I live my life in a way where I try to gain as much inner peace as possible. You know what I'm saying? And gain as much wisdom as possible. See, everybody would go to work and try to, earn their day saying that I earned $1. But see, the more jewels and gems I can earn on a daily basis, this is me having an open mind and being able to process this information. And this is what I'm really, really grateful for. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely want, if you get, because I am me and you are me and I am you. You know what I'm saying? If we can do this, we can strengthen ourselves. And if we're doing it together, it's a motivating thing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to be disconnected from social media. I'm not going to be working out. So tomorrow, September 1st, tomorrow at 8 p.m., I'm going to start a 3-day urine fast. So tomorrow, you can actually do a full day of just nothing but smoothies and whatnot. And you don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? I do that as just a pre-clean, just so that when I do introduce the urine into me, whatever garbage I've been eating before, it's not, something that I'm taking in. I'm actually doing that as, yesterday and today, just doing nothing but smoothies. I'm basically cleaning that out of my system. So, a 3-day urine fast. I'm going to talk about my experiences day to day up until the 3rd day. I could do more, but I'm doing just 3 days. I'll save, a longer fast for some other time, but there's an intent behind this 3-day urine fast for me. And, basically purify myself, clean myself out. Focus on my breath, breathing. You know what I'm saying? You want to live this experience. You're living here. And when you come into this world, you know what I'm saying? You take that breath. You know what I'm saying? And when you die, you exhale. See, a lot of people, basically, when you're wearing that mask, you have to understand that this is how this whole system is set up. Ain't no better time than to introduce a dead diet such as a keto diet. And I'm not a fan or an enemy of any diet. I'm letting you know that now. Okay? Because if you eat meat, you're eating dead meat. You know what I'm saying? You're eating dead matter. And there's always a time and place for that. But if you're, recycling your own CO2, your breath is your experiences. You know what I'm saying? But you're also intaking that same CO2 is the same way as if you're eating dead food. And based on the fact that you're social distancing now, if you're doing that, then you're also disconnecting yourself from accessing information from other people, which is basically see, everybody is an organic computer, and you could tap into that. You could tap into people and have realizations. They're always showing you something. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just by language. It's all facial expressions, body language, but they're covering that. You know what I'm saying? And the distancing part, you're not able to read people as clearly or even feel their energetic presence. You know what I'm saying? And it should work in a symbiotic relationship, not where you're vamping off anybody. You know what I'm saying? But that's always an option if you're into that, and that's on you. You know what I'm saying? But me, for example, I can basically gain nutrients in ways that other people would have to literally embark into something heinous, such as, drinking blood, if that was the case. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'll be drinking my own blood. My urine is filtered blood. You know what I'm saying? There's stem cells in there. And the beauty part is that the percentage of stem cells that are in there is basically really small, maybe 2%. You know what I'm saying? But it multiplies. You know what I'm saying? You maybe have 1 million after a week, if anything, because those cells multiply. You get what I'm saying? And urine is 95% water, sterile water. The 5%, like I said, is stem cells, it's hormones, And basically waste, if you want to call it waste, the waste is basically depending on what you're putting into your body anyway, you know what I'm saying? What your body cannot process or filter through the liver gets passed on to the kidneys in the form of ammonia, nitrogenous waste or whatnot. And how do you create ammonia and nitrogenous waste or alcohols? Is basically when you're eating stuff that's rotting in your stomach, such as meat. You know what I'm saying? Or when you're overeating, where your stomach expands, creating that environment to have alcohol. That's why food and drug is in the same category, because alcohol is a drug too. You know what I'm saying? So everybody walks around drunk because food makes you drunk. You know what I'm saying? In general, food makes you drunk. I'm not just talking about meat. I'm talking about everything. You know what I'm saying? So your body doesn't need much of anything, honestly. The key here is to make your body more efficient. You know what I'm saying? Where less is basically more. If your body's running in homeostasis, you really don't need that much B12. You just probably need like you know, in a lifetime, that much. You know what I'm saying? And it should be recycled in your system. But I'll go deep into the, you know, nutrition part, the ketogenic diet, how that affects, you know, D3, you know, men saying they're, you know, testosterone and all that. It's you know what I'm saying? That's not true. You know what I'm saying? You know, how it affects the B12, the calcium. You know what I'm saying? Digestion overall, and you want to have a steady flow of energy. And if you're backed up, you're blocked. You know what I'm saying? Think about this. All your energy and your digestion and health starts in the gut, right? And that's your solar plexus. And how do you process the foods that you're eating, right? Through your stomach. And basically, it's funny because this is your chi energy. You know what I'm saying? And notice how you actually, the first point where you start digestion is in your mouth. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I think that's all I wanted to cover. So we'll talk soon.